Okay, now we're going to show you how we make the paper paste, or clay as Ryan referred to it as. It's basically just a bucket full of water. We take all our old scrap paper, just start stuffing it into the water. This I got from an office uptown. You can find recycled paper just about anywhere. I also save all the paper out of my house because I was throwing away a lot of paper, which has, again, saved a lot out of landfills. I've realized I'm down to about 1 bag of trash a week instead of 3 by saving my own paper. You can use just about any kind of paper. You can use copy paper, newspaper. I throw a paper towel in here. All my dryer lint goes into my scraps. And we start by just soaking it in the water, let it get kind of mushy.
Can you use cardboard?
Cardboard works sometimes. You have to be careful. Some cardboard, the fibers are too heavy, they won't pull apart. Now all this is a bulb planter that I had laying around the house. You can use any type of device that goes in a drill for stirring. You can use a drywall mud stirring tool, pretty much anything in a drill, just to kind of chew the paper up. And you can see with just that little bit, it really started tearing it up. There's a lot of littler pieces in here now, so we'll add some more paper until we get a nice thick bucket full. Some pieces will clump. Your heavier papers, you may have to tear them up a little bit, but generally you can just put them in.
I'm going to show them what it looks like when it's done. When it's done, it's going to look something like this, just kind of thick, goopy, kind of feels like mud. But we're not quite there yet.
There's some newspaper in this bag, so I'm going to throw that in there. There's more copy paper. You can use shredded paper, but I found you have to let it sit and soak for a while, otherwise it wraps around the stirring tool. Kind of looks like you have a big fork full of spaghetti when you're done. And just like making the bricks, it's not always a clean process. It splatters a little bit, but as I believe that's half the fun. We're all kids at heart. We like to get dirty.
Yeah, this whole big goopy mess here wasn't here when we started. It looks like we're starting to get that kind of goopy texture that we saw back there, but there's still also a lot of water, so we gotta soak that up too. Kind of goopy here, but not mixed up very well yet.
And occasionally you'll find things like this, some sort of a fibrous paper, again, that didn't want to tear up very well. That I usually tend to pull out. It can just go back in the trash. I mean, I try everything I can put in here, but some different papers have like a plastic coating on them. And obviously that plastic, we don't want to burn it because it'll be toxic. And it will also impede the pressing of the bricks. But with a stirring tool like this, it pulls out really easy, usually ends up on the top. And at least you can get all the paper off from it. And then all you're throwing away is just the plastic and not all the paper too. And of course, if you have plastic recycling in your area, that can just go in with that. Depending on your recycling center, they may or may not be able to use it. It may end up in the trash anyway, but it's always worth a try to help keep the landfills empty. The shiny ads in the newspaper are fine. I've never had a problem with those.
It's probably just wax.
You see in there right now, those newspapers are still in clumps, but by the time we're done, they will be all completely torn up. And there you go, in only a couple of minutes we have another bucket of goo ready to be pressed into logs.
7 minutes and 45 seconds. And show that on my shoe.